Hello, my name is Margaret Eddershaw. I'm talking to you from my home in Greece. My husband and I have lived for 25 years in a wonderful town called Nafplio in the Peloponnese. So that is where we have been for a lockdown. You may have heard that the Greeks have been very successful with their handling of the pandemic. They started closing things down in the middle of February, and by early March, everything was shut down. So successful have they been that they have only had 172 deaths from the virus. And now, in the next few days, we should be fully out of lockdown. I'm going to read a poem which I wrote in March. It's called Russets. Coronavirus words, isolation, distancing, testing, remind me of my childhood task picking our apples for winter hoarding. Granny Smith's my favourite. Tough greenness resists separation from the bowed maternal tree. Then checking for bruises, for tiny maggot holes. The apple turning in my hands, hard and smooth as Dad's cricket ball. Unblemished ones gathered in for their lockdown in our loft, a cool, dark space with the wooden racks. Each apple placed tenderly, stalk up like a small, proud flag, an inch away from neighbours. If they moved, touched another, skin to skin, both would rot and infect others. Each week, checking for a tinge of brown, diseased ones thrown on the bonfire. Once our cat invaded the loft, played ball with the russets, always the most frail. The whole batch burned quietly, like grannies and grandpas surrendering to a virus. The second poem is a little bit later. It's like 3 or 4 weeks ago, we, for the first time after 2 months, could go to our farmer's market. And so that was quite an event, really. We hadn't been able to use the market for 2 months. Oh, and there's one word in Greek, which is horta, which is a kind of wild spinach which they use for salads. So it's called Unlocking the Market. It's like a first rehearsal. Script unconfirmed, minimum props, actors uncertain of their roles, dubious about the cast, hiding behind masks, checking the space. Today, no gypsies flaunt gaudy garments from the back of a shabby van, their colourful cries sorely missed. Each stall is socially distanced. Holders' greetings are kind yet subdued, maybe to avoid arousing the enemy. Outstretched hands solemnly exchange monster tomatoes for small coins. We duck and dive past masked women laden with bags of dark green horta. Our purchases, randomly bought, as though we're in a dream or have forgotten how to choose. We pounce on the first seasonal melon, like post-war children meeting a banana. We clutch a bottle of olive oil, a talisman, marking some semblance of normality. Our bodies and minds unfurl reluctantly in early summer's warm wind. As we climb the steps to our house, I discover I am holding my breath. The next 3 poems are from my collection called Is That All There Is, which was published by Mica Press of Wivenhoe in 2017. The first poem is a little event that happened in our garden, and it's called Wings. Gathering laundry from the line, I find the nearby rosemary bush alive with the soft candle flicker of a dozen small white butterflies, tripping their light fantastic, like ghostly arrhythmic hearts to the insistent hum of a few bees. Drawn to the tiny tongues of delicate mauve flowers, they close their wings as if at prayer to suck sweetness. When they brush to another bloom, warm scent wafts from pale green spiky leaves, reminiscent of incense. Now a pair spirals beyond the bush, briefly flirting before separation, like the kiss of eyelashes blinking in the sun. In this moment, I could believe, as did the ancient Greeks, that butterflies are human souls, and wish my spirit sported wings as pure and joyous as theirs. There have been a terrible number of deaths in British care homes as well as in other countries, and that's been very shocking. And I wanted to just acknowledge that by reading a poem in which I visit my father in a care home. This was 10 years ago, and it's called All at Sea. I used to build boats, you know. This mantra throws a line ashore to check his anchorless drifting near unremembered coasts. He doesn't know it, but he's mostly the father I knew, sociable, humorous, with flashes of causeless anger. Eyes bright with innocence, peachy skin glowing over cheeks, small yet strong hands persuade me of his presence. Confusion masked by a smile, he asks my name again, politely, as though at the captain's table. He surveys photos on the mantelpiece, a marooned sailor scanning the horizon for the rescue boat. I frame every sentence with Dad, but that word is a castaway too. He shakes his healthy shock of hair like a dog trying to organise its ears. He finds no clues in my face, so examines instead his shoes, from which he has again cut the laces. Bought these in Portsmouth during the war. Another mantra. He fingers his buttonless cardigan, having taken against buttons too. To tell you the truth, he laughs as though beginning a joke. I have no idea where I am. My hesitation allows him to forget he ever wondered, and he's all at sea again, too far out to see me wave. And the last one from the collection is a poem that I wrote in response to coming home from London to the house and finding that we had been burgled. And it's called Stuff. Home at midnight, unlock the door, cold draught through a forced window. From a gaping wardrobe, a favela mudslide of garments flows onto the floor. Coats and jackets jumble in a doorway as if dropped by fleeing refugees. Separated shoes mixed with scarves and black underwear, rolled socks, tumble in a random heap, wait for Cambodian children to scavenge. Drawers surrender licorice all-sort contents. These are papers, blunt pencils, keys, a hussive, cuff sweets, odd foreign coins. Sheets in the raided linen chest grumble at the disturbance of piled order. Beat-up cushions crouch under the sofa. A violated set of babushka dolls scatters in halves across a table. Chairs are silent witnesses. The insistent lure of a hidden stash of cash leads to upturned mattresses, books parted on shelves, each box, tin, bag, undone, unlidded, unzipped. Kitchen cupboards rummaged, even the cook filters on the hood removed. But it's a poor haul from the flotsam and jetsam of our lives. A few Australian dollars and a plastic bag of cheap earrings. Reason not the need, says Lear. Wit we must. What is this voracious appetite for stuff? As if possessions alleviate loneliness, compensate for failure, usurp death. Now bars on windows will declare to all that the inmates of this asylum have too much stuff. And I'm going to finish with a poem about the virus, which I wrote 2 weeks ago, and it's called The Voice of the Virus. Examine me under a microscope. Admire my spectacular crown, colourful as a seabed of corals. Know that, like your gods, I am everywhere, mysterious as air, smoke, mist, a silent drone with wings of glass, invisible to humans. I am a wizard in a vast magic cloak with my pockets full of tricks. We are the most abundant life form on the whole of our planet, the alternate parasites seeking unwary hosts to increase our numbers. Our history with humans spans 5,000 years of plague and death. But foolish man never knows his own frailty, always searching for the Holy Grail. Exotic tastes, aphrodisiacs, cures, Viagra, in bat soup, rhino horn, pangolin scales. This time, strong man leaders boast of their war against us, disputing our ability to snatch away every person's last feverish breath. We are a sneak thief enemy that your guns, tanks and bombs cannot ever touch. Let strong men gather excited crowds, shake every proffered hand, kiss their wives and children. May they all become our hosts. Take care.